Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the press and conferences on day 2 of pre-season testing here in Bahrain. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Jack Doohan, Charles Leclerc, Alex Albon, Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. Guys, thanks very much for joining. Jack, as you're sat furthest away, I'll start with you. How does it feel to start pre-season testing as a full-time racing driver?
It's good. Enjoying this time and enjoying getting up to speed with the car. We had some a smooth running yesterday, no faults, no anomalies. So that's always a great day, and look forward to getting some night action tonight.
Lovely stuff, Jack. Charles, just coming to you. Lewis turned on some pace in that morning session. Just talk to me about how you felt in the car and how good the Ferrari looks out on track right now.
It felt good, but obviously for now, nothing to get carried away. It's only testing. Everybody's obviously hiding their true performance, and we are testing our own things. We're trying to focus on our own things, but the feeling is pretty good. We didn't have any bad surprises for now, so that's good, but too early to judge performances.
Great stuff. Thanks, Charles. Alex, coming to you. Looked like an encouraging day for Williams yesterday. Is it fair to say maybe you might be punching up towards the midfield, or again, is it too early to say?
Yeah, we'll see. I think it will just be close. I don't think anyone knows the pecking order for now, but like Charles said, we're just going through our program, got our test items. It's been tricky with the weather so far these last 2 days, so let's see what tomorrow brings, but looking good so far.
Great stuff. Thanks, Alex. Max, coming to you. I know there are a few limitations to your car last year. How do you feel that the team have worked from what you could feel in the car so far in testing, made some gains in that area?
Yeah, I mean, so far, I've done half a day, but I enjoyed the driving bit. The car was quite decent to drive, to be honest. Like, in terms of pace, it's always difficult to say, but I enjoyed it. I guess that's the most important part of it. It was a bit more predictable, but around this time last year, also around here, it wasn't that bad. But I do think that the team learned a lot from last year, so now we just try to address that from last year and see how it goes. When we go to Australia as well, completely different track, but so far I've been enjoying it.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Max. Lando, just coming to you. Thanks for waiting. It looked like a good first day overall for McLaren. Just talk me through how you're feeling about the pace of the car and how it just feels just generally.
Good, yeah. Just nice to be back in the car, first of all. Just driving again is always it's what we love to do, right? So it's nice. Pace of the car, it's just difficult to tell. At the minute, we're 1 second off Ferrari. If you look at just the timesheets, what everyone loves to do. So we're just do our own thing. Learn about the car. There's plenty of things we need to still learn about and test. We've not got loads of laps in. We want to probably get a bit more than what we've done at the minute. But I've got my plan for later, so we'll see.
Okay, sir. Thanks, Lando. Right, I'll open it up to the floor. If you could just raise your hand and give us your name and publication.
Ian Parks, Racing News 365. Max, question for you? Not Alex, Max. Max, can I just get your reaction to what unfolded at F1 75 last week, the booing towards yourself, towards Christian? Christian here yesterday described it as extremely disappointing. Your dad even went so far as to suggest you could boycott future events in England. So, as I say, just get your appraisal on how you felt about it last week.
There was any booing?
I didn't hear anything.
Maybe I'm deaf. I don't need to really talk about it. It's not worth my time.
Great stuff. Can we get another question, please?
Fred Ferrell, Equipe. Question to Charles, Max, and Lando. Do you have any thinking about the tires of 2026 already on the car?
Who wants to take that one?
They're around.
They're around. They honestly, they weren't. Obviously, whenever you're testing smaller tires, you expect a big difference. But on my side, they were good. It didn't feel like a big difference. So that was, I was positively surprised.
Anyone else got anything to add?
Nope, they worked all day, and I've done a day in Barcelona, and that was my first day in the car. So not a lot to say, honestly. I think we'll do more. I think maybe not, but. No comments on it.
Great stuff. Next one, please.
Alex Galnorkas, Autosport. Question to Lando, please. I just wondered, can you expand a little bit more on the feeling in the car? How does it compare to when you drove the old 24 car in Abu Dhabi? It looks like the front is rotating quite nicely, but maybe the rear a little bit slidey. I don't know. That's just my uneducated guesses. Thank you.
Pretty much along those lines. It feels similar. It's what I said in the interviews earlier. It feels similar, which is a good start. That's where we wanted to start, at least. Nothing's been majorly addressed. Let's say it's not like that much has changed. From what we've tried to do, we've just tried to make the car quicker all around and add more load. And the most simple way of looking at it, honestly. We still want to try and focus on some areas more than others. And like you're saying, we've struggled a bit more with the rear than what we would have liked over yesterday and today. But it's still early days. We're not looking at performance of absolute outright performance, and if we went into qualifying now, I'm sure we would change some things. But a lot of today and yesterday has been just ticking the boxes. I mean, it's not the fun bit. The fun will probably come this afternoon and tomorrow morning. But along those lines, I think if we want to improve anything at the minute, it's still the rear of the car. And the more you can improve the rear, the more everything just gets better. But the rest of it feels correct, and it feels like it's in the same ballpark, and that's what we want. So, I don't think we're expecting to be a big step ahead of anyone. We're expecting to be tied alongside the guys to my right. But if we're just there fighting from the beginning, that's our target. Considering how the last few years have been, if we can just be there fighting from the off, then we'll be happy.
Great, so thanks, Lando. Next one, please.
Luke Smith from The Athletic. Charles, a question for you. Hello. Lewis has been really enthusiastic about his first few weeks with the team and really seems to be loving life as a Ferrari driver. The sort of romanticism that comes with racing for Ferrari, you've lived that for the past 6 years. Like, how much did it live up to your expectations going in, and how nice is it seeing Lewis go through that same process now?
Well, I mean, it's really nice to see. Obviously, it's very different, the situation that Lewis finds himself in joining the team. When I joined, I only had done 1 year in Formula 1, so Formula 1 was still new to me, and I had obviously to learn how a team like Ferrari would work in Formula 1, even though I knew the factory and everything by being in the Ferrari Driver Academy before. For Lewis, obviously an Italian team is pretty new to him, but he's achieved so much, and he arrives here obviously as a legend of the sport. So it's really cool to see what it was like for him to have so much success in other teams and the way they used to work. So on that, we've learned a lot. And it was really exciting also to see how happy and excited he was about the whole thing. For me, that meant that the off-season was a bit more in the shadow, but I enjoyed it. I focused on myself. I'm pushing at the maximum to be ready for the first race. And I'm really looking forward to this year, hoping that we'll start the year on a more positive way compared to last year.
Great stuff. Thanks, Charles. Another question, please?
Ed Straw from The Race, another one for Max. Obviously, it's still early days, and as you say, this track's perhaps not the best test. But based on your best guess from what you've experienced so far, do you think this is a car that's going to give you the ability to balance it up well and get it working as you want to? Do you have a positive feeling in that regard? Do you think, therefore, that probably the step that is hoped for has been taken with this car and it will be a usable one for the season?
Well, I mean, it can't be worse than last year. So I think the direction that we are working into is good. So we just need to follow that and see how much we can extract out of that. But at the moment, it's really early days, you know. So a lot of things that we are still discussing and wanting to improve. But yesterday, like I said, I enjoyed it, and that's already a big difference to last year.
Thanks, Max. Any more questions?
Dan Lawrence, Motorsport Monday and motorsportweek.com. Question for Charles. Just following on the conversation regarding Lewis at Ferrari, how has it been as a working relationship between the two of you in terms of talking about the setup direction and development direction of the car? Have you found that he's a good collaborator and that you're on the same wavelength as each other? Thank you.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, our driving style is very similar. We both like to push quite a lot, especially the entries, and on that we are quite similar. So that's positive because I think it requires the same thing out of the car, and I think as a team that is always a good thing because we'll definitely push in the same direction because we need the same things. So that was good, and we're working super well together. I mean, we've spent quite a bit of time together since the beginning of the year. Less on track, more in the studio to do pictures, which is not the part we enjoy most, but it's part of the job. And yeah, I'm looking forward to race with him and hopefully bring Ferrari back to the top.
Thanks very much, Charles. Another question from the room, please.
Dan Lloyd, Race Car Engineering. A question for Max. You said that the car's feeling a little bit more predictable based on what you've felt so far. Could you perhaps expand on that a bit in terms of which, what phases of the corner it's a bit more predictable, and with regards to the areas that were unpredictable last season?
Well, everywhere, and it's just improved everywhere compared to last year. I don't want to go too much in detail. It's not necessary. We keep that for ourselves. But yeah. Let's see. I mean, I've done half a day, so there's a lot to analyze also, But it's positive. Yeah.
Thanks, Max. Some more questions over there.
Nate Saunders, ESPN. Just on F1 75 generally, what did you all make of that, and would you welcome it being a regular part of the calendar, or do you think it worked better off as a kind of a one-off event for this season? Thanks.
Okay, Alex, do you want to go first?
Sure. I would say that it would be nice for it to be a one-off, but I imagine it's going to stay around. I don't know what the reception was, but I think it was generally fairly positive. Yeah, I mean, it's just different. It's a different environment for the drivers to be in. I think as an event, I think they did a good job with what they had, what it was made to be. But yeah, that's about it. I would say, yeah, just a bit strange walking onto a stage.
Jack, how about you? You seemed to get a good reception when you went on stage.
I think it was good. Short in the terms for the drivers and walking on stage and off, but it seemed good. And as long as it's received well by the fans and spectators and supporters, then that's great.
Charles, anything to add?
Nothing really. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it was nice. I wouldn't want to lose too many days. We have very few days available at the beginning of the year, so obviously the most little time it can take, the better it is, I think, for the teams and ourselves, also for logistics. But yeah, apart from that, I think the event was quite nice.
Max, anything to add?
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic.
Thought you'd say something like that. Lando, got me on straight away.
Yeah.
I haven't said anything wrong.
No. Yeah, it was great. I think it was good. It's just good for the fans. I don't know if it's something we would do every year. Maybe you do it every few years or something. I think as a team we would also like to do our own stuff. I think every team would like to do their own thing and showcase the car a bit more, talk about the car a bit more, instead of just being on a stage for 7 minutes and just saying hi and bye. I know there's a lot to get through in kind of one night, but I'm sure every team wanted a few more minutes to talk about the car and describe a few things, and I'm sure the fans would rather listen to us talk more rather than just seeing the car on stage. So maybe change up the order if it was to be done again, and you listen to the drivers talk a bit more, or the race or the team principals or whatever. But yeah, I'm sure they can make some changes next time.
Great stuff. Thanks, Lando. Next question, please.
Christian Mehnert, motorsportmagazin.com. Question for you, Max. How would you rate your influence on the development of this year's car? Because we've all heard the problems you had last year. You were talking to the team. How was it compared to the previous cars, your influence?
I mean, some cars, of course, they don't need much, I guess, influence, and you try to just continue the work. I think for myself and the team, of course, also at some point last year, we knew that something was up, and then, of course, a few things have to be addressed, and that's why, yeah, quite a few things have changed So yeah, I give my feedback, of what I need, what I think the car needs to go faster, and that's what we try to apply to it, to be honest.
Thanks, Max. Next one, please.
Giles Richards, The Guardian. For Max and Lando, last season where you had a close fight with each other and it got a little bit charged at times towards the last third. Just wondering, both of you, how is your relationship now, and what attitude do you take in racing one another going into this season?
Lando, do you want to take that one first?
Yeah, it's terrible relationship. Yeah, we don't get on anymore. It's taken its toll.
Sounds tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big drama now.
Yeah.
Big problems.
We had a fight the other day in a local pub.
We had to get escorted. But I always say, you should have seen the other guy, but actually he still looks good. So you know what happened.
Yeah, it's fine. I think we both look forward to more of that, more of last year, more battles. I don't think it's just going to be us. I think there's going to be others involved, which will make it more exciting for everyone. But yeah, I know they're going to be tough battles, and I'm sure some of them are not always going to end the way I want, or hopefully Max wants. But we're racing drivers. We get along. We've always said those kind of things. I know everyone tries to make their own points and say what's correct and what's not correct, but we respect each other a lot, and we look forward to more racing on track.
Any more, Max?
No, that's beautifully said.
Works for me. Guys, thanks very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the test, and good luck for the season.